If you have an encounter with the deer woman, you may get killed or you may end up pregnant.
Deer woman is a cryptid across the eastern woodland tribes and also the plains tribes. She's associated with fertility and also love. And if you run into her, she can be seen in one of three forms. She may show herself as a young, beautiful woman, a full-blown deer, or just a mixture of the two. If you're a man out in the forest and run into her and decide to act in an adulterous or promiscuous manner, then don't expect a happy ending. You will either end up being led to your death, or she'll leave you dying of love sickness by having your life essence just being drained until you're gone from this world. However, if you're a woman out in the woods and you run into her, she doesn't react the same way. In fact, if you've been looking to conceive a child, then she'll be better than any doctor that money can buy. Having an encounter with her can usually be seen as a sign that your next child can successfully be conceived and also carried to term. For the life of me, I just can't find a full-blown story involving her. Typically, a hunter or a warrior encounters one of these beings or creatures, and there's a tale to hear about it. But with her, I can't find anything but a few versions of how she came to be. And just a warning right now, it's no Mickey Mouse story.
A woman was out traveling on her own, and these were simpler times. The only danger you needed to worry about were bears, and at this point they were actually hibernating. So as she continued on the trail, she crossed paths with a group of men. But these weren't good, honorable men. They were disgusting, vile people that took their numbers and seclusion as an opportunity to savagely and brutally sexually assault this young woman. The cruelty had been so severe and horrific that the woman now laid in the dirt, waiting to die. The men walked away without a care in the world, not being punished for the terrible thing that they had just done. And she laid there as her breath grew weaker. Her head ached and tears streamed down her face. The damage was too severe and she wasn't going to live through the night. And during this time, a young fawn had come and seen her. It saw her pain and anguish. And somehow the fawn understood that she had gone through something traumatic, and it knew that her time was coming to an end. But it stayed with her because it didn't want her to be alone. Some people had said that it was the Nunyehi, or the gods, or even the deer themselves that did this next part. But the next morning when the woman had awoken, she found that her body was fully recovered, but it was changed. She now had the feet and legs of a deer, but the body and head of a woman. What she also had was the power to claim justice for what had happened to her. So using her newfound power, she located the group of men and lured them into the forest. They thought they'd have another go at being the animals that they were, but they hadn't noticed her hooved feet. They followed her, and she ran deeper into the woods until they were lost and confused. The sun was heavily blocked by a canopy of trees, and they all stood back to back trying to find the woman, but when they saw her, it was too late. The last thing they saw was the hooves of the deer woman trampling them to death.
Her story is largely related to the fact that attraction cannot be the only basis for a good marriage, which is why you shouldn't follow a beautiful woman into the woods just because she's beautiful, and also that men must always be respectful and kind towards women. Those men that are not will be found by this dear woman and lured to their deaths. But if you find yourself in the crosshairs of her and you only want to leave and go home, then you have one chance. Ignore her eyes, hair, face, and body. Look at her feet and find her hooves. Seeing them will break her hold on you and you'll be free to leave. Or on the other hand, just keep some tobacco burning. It's said that the smell keeps her away. Or you could just hang out where you are now and just watch another video. This is YouTube's suggestion, and the other is mine. Either way, I'll see you there.